What is this music? Matt, can you do something about this? Can we get like some metal or some, I don't know, some flames or something? We're talking woodworking here. We need something cool to go along with this video. Speaking of, Matt Keddy from Keddy Woodshop has put together an awesome tutorial, and we have a couple special friends that are going to pop in and give you some tips along the way. We have Tamar from 3x3 Customs, we have Nadia from Nadia Strand Studio, Ashley from Smashing DIY, Sam from DIY Huntress, Kendra from Kendra's Got Wood, and even Sonia from This and That Design. Oh, and there's me, Adam from Lazy Guy DIY. So stay tuned, keep watching, and enjoy the show.
Alright, so I've got a 1x6 of spalted sycamore, and that makes it end up being 5.5 inches wide. So we're going to make our mark at 5 inches, and it'll create a slight rectangle. That way, if we screw up cutting out the shape of the heart, you have a little bit of play to adjust that accordingly.
What's up guys, Tamar here from 3x3 Custom. Here's a quick and easy way to find the center of your board. Take a straight edge, in this case a speed square, line it up from corner to corner and draw a line. Flip it around, draw another line from corner to corner. You've now created an X. At the center point of that X is the center of your board. Take your speed square, line it up at that center point and draw a vertical line. You've now created two halves. You now have the center of your board without using any math whatsoever, and it was so easy.
Hey guys, this is Nadia. I'm offshore right now, so this is my home away from home, and you are basically in bed with me right now. So Matt just wanted me here to hear my Norwegian accent again. He used like half a year to convince me to do a video in the first place, so I think it's like a fetish for him. So girls, be careful with that guy. So, using the center line, align your heart template and trace it.
Right now we're just going to drill a hole so we can insert the scroll saw blade.
Hey everyone, I'm Sonia, not Sonia, from This and That Designs, and I'm actually here to let you in on a little secret. So Matt is actually using a double reverse saw blade here. Ryobi has this feature where you can use this pinless blade, and the way that this works is it cuts in the up and the down motion, causing a much smoother surface cut, so ultimately saving you time. Less sanding, people!
The double reverse blade really did all the heavy lifting. There's a few deviations, some mistakes that I made when I cut the shape out, but it's not a big deal. You use the spindle sander, you can clean that right up. Just make sure when you cut that you always do it on the inside of the line so you have a reference mark. Alright, I think you're ready to take it over to the router. What we're going to do is round over the edges, and we're also going to round over the inside of the heart. Now, I had to take the fence off and the bushing on this table because the bit was a little larger than what the single bushing I have allotted for, and I'm not using a gripper. That is incredibly stupid, incredibly dangerous. You should always have 2 points of separation between your finger and the bit. I did this for the video so you could actually see what I was doing. I'm kind of waiting for my mom to call me, say, Matt, what are you doing? You're going to chop off your fingers? It's just dumb. Don't do it.
Hi, I'm Jessie. In the next step, measure down 1/2 inch and draw a line for the backer board insert.
We're going to double side tape our workpiece to the bench, and then we're going to attach the 2 pieces of wood on either side to the bench just using screws. Make sure they're offset, they don't interfere with the router base. And then starting with the little strips of wood we have, we're going to work our way around the frame and basically just box it in. Now I screwed up a little bit, I had to take the one piece off because I didn't set it right, but basically those 1/2 inch lines that you made now give you a reference point of where to align those, and you can use them for your bushing on your router. So you just kind of work your way around, everything works out great. Now with the router, I used a 1/4 inch spiral bit, which is basically used for engraving, and the smallest bushing that I had. Now, normally go to a 1/2 inch or something bigger so you can just clean the thing out pretty rapidly. Unfortunately, I stripped the screws out on that router base, the plunge base, so I'm pretty much stuck with a blind base, and yeah, it kind of sucks. It's a bummer. I'm hoping maybe Ryobi sends me that palm one. That'd be pretty cool. Hint, hint. So we're going to take a random orbital sander and just kind of go over the whole piece. Just want to lightly touch it when you do the beveled edges and the curves, because you don't want to dig in too deep. Once you get comfortable with that, you're just going to go with some sandpaper and just clean up the edges a tiny bit, knock off the high spots, and you're going to get ready for the next step.
Hey guys, it's Adam again from Lazy Guy DIY. Hey, Matt wants me to talk to you about raising the grain to get the smoothest finish on your project. I generally don't have a problem getting mine up, and I always finish smooth, but if you're 1 out of 4 people that this problem affects, hey, we got the solution for you. All you need to do is take a damp cloth and rub it across the surface of your lumber. When you do that, it actually stimulates the fibers in the wood, makes them stand at attention, and then you can sand over them to get the smoothest finish possible. Remember that people want smooth wood, not rough wood. Check it out, it's a great technique.
After the wood is dried, you're just going to go back over it with the last grit you used. In this case, we did 220, and eventually I ended up sanding to 400, but it's your prerogative. We're going to do a dry fit, and if you note, there's a little bit of a gap around all 4 sides. I do that on purpose. If someone decides to cut another piece of wood for, we'll say, a backer on a picture frame, they now don't have to have the picture aligned perfectly. They can shift the back piece, and that will move the picture. It's just a good practice. Alright, so here comes the revealed grain segment. Kind of felt like a one-trick pony for a few months there. That's all I did was set stuff on fire. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys were thinking, oh, there's Matt setting another piece of wood on fire and he's going to sand it into something else. It's kind of getting boring, right? So we do a little hybrid, mix some nice wood with some pine. And this piece right here is just a 1/4-inch stalk I cut on the sawmill. Ran it through the planer. Actually, it got planed down the 1/4-inch, but you don't want to make it much thicker than that. The only thing you got to watch, it's going to cup a little bit, and this one did. I ended up pushing it down. There's a crack across the center of it, but that's the nature of the game when you set something on fire. You're going to use a wire cut brush. This way, if you still got stuff that's hot or anything like that, you're not going to damage your nylon brush, but you're going to gently remove the surface char. And I keep a shop vac going when I do it indoors because that stuff's pretty messy, but if you push too hard, you're going to leave tool marks all over the wood. And I see people do that, and yeah, they cut out these weird shapes, they set the stuff on fire. It just looks really tacky to me. Using a 120 grit flat brush, we're going to go ahead and reveal some grain. So if you're spinning and you're really not removing too much of the brown part, try attacking it from another angle. Sometimes if you got the wood facing one direction, you're kind of with the grain or you're against it. It doesn't really make sense to me yet. I haven't really figured out which way it's got to be, but I just kind of noticed that it doesn't really work. So if I flip it around and I'm spinning the opposite way, it just starts tearing in there. So give it a shot. You'll see it works way different. Okay, so I sped this up like 200%, and basically we're just taking 2 colors, Rust-Oleum Cabernet and Rust-Oleum Mineral Green, and we're just blending them together. And I got that idea from Kendra of, well, Kendra's got wood.
Hey guys, Kendra from Kendra's Got Wood here, up north at this beautiful lake house cabin in Traverse City, Michigan. The finish for the stain is pretty much simple. You just wipe it on like you're using one solid color, but you can use any color combination you'd like.
Kendra, you are a trooper. I'm really sorry I made you march out there on that frozen tundra and film that for me right then. Had we known it was going to take a couple days to get the rest of the clips in, maybe we could have did this in a warmer environment. But basically, you just kind of wipe the finish on, wipe it back off, do some smudging, add some extra colors, and, you know, once you're comfortable with the way it looks, power forward. You're ready to go to the next step. All right, so what we're going to do here is apply a little bit of a water-based polyacrylic. And what I like to do is wipe this on and then wipe it right back off. See, my environment, my shop, is incredibly dusty, and there's no way around it. You pretty much need a clean room for any kind of brush-on finish, because the dust is in the air, it's going to settle, and you're going to get it on your finish. It's not going to be cool. But if you wipe it off and you build over time small, thin layers, you'll get a way better finish. After you're done wiping it off, you just want to go at it with some sandpaper. Like that right there is 400 grit. And I knock off the high spots, apply another coat. After 4 or 5, this thing is like glass. It's fantastic. So we just got to run in the last screw of the backer plate. And essentially this is a modular design. So Your customer that purchases this might decide at St. Patrick's Day he wants to showcase a picture of him blasted drunk, throwing up on a shamrock. Who knows? Who knows what he's going to do? But he has that capability because we made it modular.
Hey guys, it's Sam from DIY Huntress, reminding you that the last and most important part of this entire project is to brand that shit. Put your name all over it. Get full bragging rights because you did an awesome job.